It's happened to the cave where the echoes bounce, in the depths where the whispers of knowledge count. A place not just of dark, but of light where ideas clash and take flight. K4 on the beat, in the labyrinth deep, navigating mysteries that the cave keeps. Every step a new discovery, every turn a story untold inside the cave where the shadows unfold. Inside the cave where the shadows unfold.
Finding secrets that the universe keeps, from the echoes of the past to the whispers of the new. Inside the cave, find the truth. Walls lined with the beats of history's hard and new. Inside the cave, find the truth. We find the truth.
Yo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the Cave. It's your boys, Joreeezy, Oreez, and Mel, coming to you live, late night show. This is Inside the Cave. This is the lab. This is the studio. This is the living room. This is the garage. It's where we do work. It's where we talk, try to figure shit out. And this is a continuation of one of the episodes or one of the videos that Mel put out talking about false prophets and the power of music, right? Can music shape your mind, body, or even your soul? What if the songs you love are more than just art? What if they're tools of influence, vibrating at frequencies that can heal, harm, or summon something beyond our understanding? So one of the podcast episodes we had, I was doing a challenge where I was trying not to listen to any music, right? And it's pretty cool because I know we agreed that naturally people should be making their own music and kind of, singing and making mantras that they put out or that they create based on the circumstances that's around them or, where they're at in their journey. And it's pretty cool. I came across this streamer called Ari at Home. And dog, what he does is he goes around New York. He has a keyboard rig, a synthesizer, and he has a mic, and he makes beats like on the spot. And obviously in New York, there's a lot of rappers and singers. So they'll come around, he'll give them the mic, and they'll make a song right on the spot. And I'm like, dog, that's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? This guy's organically making music, not sampling. Like the only sample he'll do is if like there's someone singing and he sings a melody and he makes a beat off like, 2 lines of the bars that person was singing. And then creates songs after that. And I'm like, dude, that's what it is. But nowadays, I feel like it's not a feeling anymore. It's confirmed. People are strategically meeting in boardrooms in order to, figure out what should these songs be about. You know what I mean? It's almost like an agenda. There's almost seasons of psyops for these songs now, right? And what kind of backs that up is the fact that sometimes when a new genre of let's say rap comes out, let's say drill rap, right? I think drill rap is one of the examples Mel brought up. Usually, I mean, this is understandable. Let's say there's one artist that blows up in a new genre, which is drill rap. There'll be another artist that comes out that sounds similar, but there's some sort of variation. But most of the time, they're rapping about the same shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a businessman, that makes sense because it's like, this works. Why not, just fish out of that lake since there's fish in that lake anyways, you know what I mean?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
But it goes back.
I see that it works. Yeah.
It goes back to what I was saying about, I brought up Ari at Home. I feel like music should come from within and it should be a form of expression instead of a form of almost, some sort of sonic manipulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So shit, that's what we're going to talk about. We got experts in the cave. These two are musicians, producers. So shit, man, let's get to it. We're talking about Kanye. And before we start, I want to kind of lay down the fact that there are different categories of musicians, right? There's an artist, and I feel like artists, Kanye is an artist, right? Like he expresses himself and he almost like takes the challenge of a genre and tries to break the boundaries of that limitation of that genre to kind of make something else, right? And then there's people like, I feel like Drake is, I don't know, an entertainer. What would you guys label Drake as?
I feel like he's more of a musician. Dang, why can't I talk? Musician, right? He's more of a musician because what he does is, and everybody knows this, he takes songs that people have already done and kind of puts his own little twist to it, you know, with the music and stuff like that. He does rap too as well, but I feel like people more like him for his musical sound. You know what I mean? Not necessarily for his raps all the time. So that's what I would categorize.
I agree.
Drake, with him, I would argue that like when it comes to Drake, he's not only just an artist, like he's a specific kind of artist. You know what I'm saying? He's an actor. You know what I mean? Like
like Joreezy said, entertainer.
I mean, we all entertainers though. You know what I mean? But he specifically is an actor, and what he was making like comeback season and like did you hear the music before he made
Room for Improvement type shit?
Thank Me Later and was this Sooner Than Later, and then he dropped what was the first one that he dropped, the first tape that he dropped that went had the best I ever had.
So Far Gone.
So Far Gone.
So Far Gone.
All the shit he dropped before So Far Gone, bro. He definitely got some tips, and they was like, "Yeah, you need to get a little bit more mafioso in need to get a little bit more pep in your step, bro. Like you need to puff that chest out a little bit. You know what I mean? You need to sag them pants a little bit, my nigga. You need to get iced out a little bit. You know, he played the part, and because there was a void in the game, open for him to step in and fill that void. That's what happened, bro. Yeah.
And then especially. Like you said, there was a void. He made that transition that you're talking about from like the softy to the like more iced out guy during a time when Lil Wayne went to jail. So when Lil Wayne went to jail, Drake was kind of there to fill that void for that moment being, and he kind of did that part, and everybody kind of phased over to Drake while Lil Wayne was away for a little bit. You know,
it helped to have the cosign of Wayne too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
This nigga had the cosign of the whole Cash Money, Young Money mafia, bro. Well, except for Tyga. Tyga didn't fuck with him.
I'm gonna side tangent, and Drake's a great example of an industry plan, right?
Yeah,
like
he's definitely like an enigma because he shouldn't exist, bro. Like
he shouldn't.
He's a Jew that says the N-word, bro. Like he shouldn't exist, bro. But he's the hottest in the game. Like somehow he's the hottest right now.
I'll let you know right now. They play his shit in the Philippines, bro. So he really is. Even though the only Kendrick song that I heard out there was the diss song. They wasn't playing no other songs. Nigga. Maybe they played one. They played that one song with SZA. Is that her name, SZA?
Okay,
yeah,
SZA.
But all the stars in motion. I heard that song.
Wait, how'd that go? How'd that go?
It looks hot, bro.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that shit again, bro. You're gonna have to pay me for that. You get that once.
Bring that back one more time.
Everybody gets one.
Right.
No, I said this on a previous episode. If the music industry was going through some kind of fucking recession and they had to sign one artist, that Drake's your guy, bro. The motherfucker can sing. The motherfucker can make like battle bars, you know what I'm saying? Can make some fucking hype up music, some club bangers, some fucking Caribbean island music, you know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say that, yeah. Caribbean
and it's
shit.
fire, bro. And it's
I would say a vast majority of those people would pick Chris Brown over him, though.
That's different, though.
Chris Brown can actually dance, nigga.
Yeah, entertainer.
Chris Brown can actually dance. Hey, bro, he gets in trouble all the time. This nigga gets out of jail and goes straight back to the motherfucking stage, bro. He does not play. You know what I'm saying?
I love that you brought up Chris Brown, because that takes us out of the side tangent of industry plant, because I feel like what separates an industry plant from an artist is the willingness to put your foot down and be like, that's just not my style. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Chris Brown. I'm going to sing about what I do and I'm going to dance. You know what I'm saying? But Drake's more. As being part of Cave, like, we make merch, you know what I mean? We create graphics, we create art. But personally, I make shit that I think is cool, you know what I mean? And if people like it, then that's cool. And if they don't like it, then that sucks, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
but I've came across people that make clothing brands, and before they even start, they take surveys. And the surveys that they take, they want to find out what shirts people are buying, and they want to find out, like, you know what I mean, why they're buying those kind of shirts, so they can kind of reverse engineer to get the product to make sure it's a successful product, instead of a product that's kind of birthed from, you know what I mean, from you, that you created. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of the team that surrounds Drake, and there's no knock on that, but as an artist, you know what I mean, if you like really dig in your like deep fucking like being to come out with these fucking songs. But bro, we before the show we were listening to Kanye's song, The Cousins. If that motherfucker sucked his cousin's dick, that's the realest shit I ever heard, bro. We shouldn't be hating on that shit, you know what I'm saying?
And if you rap about sucking dick, that's your genre, bro.
Yeah, but if he didn't,
he said that's your genre.
If Kanye didn't suck his cousin's dick, bro, then he's a phony baloney. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like you just doing that for clout. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that would be even more crazy.
Yeah,
going back to what you were saying about like how Drake, he kind of, like it kind of bounces back off of what you said, like when they started drill rap, one drill rap guy came out and then the next one came out because it worked. Like, Drake's team knows that, okay, if we rap about X, Y, and Z, that's what's working right now. So we're going to keep on rapping about X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, like you said, an industry plant way of knowing, like, when that person comes in and they start rapping about stuff that is in this category, 98% of the time they're bald. You know what I mean?
It's really low risk, I feel
absolutely, because you already know it's working.
What they're running is a money scheme, you know what I mean? And it's very exploitative in nature when you look at it in hindsight, because it's like, look, you had Drake coming in stamping all these guys from Chicago and shit, and stamping all these trap stars, these hood stars, these
right. And he's not even the trap guy, or he's not even hood. So it's like,
and now his name gets implicated in many things, Yeah. So it's just like, bro, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? If you
bro, you had a bar mitzvah, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He isn't.
You shot him. You
live in a trap house.
You know what I mean? As a bar mitzvah.
He is an actor with advisors. That's what he is, and they're all chasing a bag. And I don't knock him for it. You do what you're gonna do.
If it works, hey.
But karma's a bitch, bruh. So just be careful of what you sow, because you're gonna reap it, homie.
Well, you know what? This is kind of crazy because something special about rap is, I mean, we initially were talking about expressing yourself, and that's how kind of music should be, a form of expression, right? And I feel like when you're rapping about shit that isn't real, like, eventually you're gonna want to make it real. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an act, You know what I mean? Like if you're broke and you're rapping about like being rich, like eventually you're gonna have some sort of rich mindset. I feel like, you know what I mean? If you're rapping about like fighting all the time, you probably fight a lot of people
the affirmations. You talk about fucking busting at niggas, then nigga gonna bust at you. You know what I mean? You talk about fucking other niggas bitches, then you're gonna have to serve a nigga up because he's like, why you talking to my woman? You know what I'm saying? Like I used to talk about that kind of shit in my music, and like I would have like niggas from like friend groups, mutual friend groups, like pulling me aside, like, hey bro, like, are you talking to my girl and shit? I'm like, nah, nigga, she just bumping my song. And my song, it just so happens to I'm fucking your girl, but you just insecure about it. You know what I'm saying? So like, but that actually really taught me a lot. You know, it taught me like I need to construct my songs better. You know what I mean? So that I don't have that kind of response. You know what I mean? If that's what I'm trying to avoid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, really do. You gotta what you spit really do come true at some point, bro. If you keep saying that shit.
Right.
That's good that you said that because it kind of goes into this podcast. Like words create reality. So imagine like the implication of these words that are in the music and then added with the vibration of the song that makes your chemical imbalance do a certain thing. You know what I mean? And you got these affirmations going to your head, repetition, repetition, repetition. So it's like the words, they create reality, bro. You know, whether it be your reality or through someone else's eyes, like your friend, you know what else, you know what I mean? But like, it's real. It really is.
Yeah. So that's why when it comes to like the lyrics that you write and the shit that you rap, bro, like just be ready, man. If that's what you asking for, like just be ready for it, bro. Like,
dude, I used to always rap about working at Walmart, and I ended up working at Walmart.
Did you really? That's so funny.
Yeah, bro. Like this song, I think the song Update has.
Oh yeah, you had a bar in Batter too, right? About Walmart.
Batter too. Yeah,
I
and Update I made in like 2017. Update I made that song, and Batter I made 2022. Something like that.
Like I'm working at Walmart.
That's why I make my love songs very vague now. So like, I make extremely vague love songs because I used to say specific shit, bro, and then it would fucking happen, bro. And I'm just like, yo,
all the time.
No. It's that's why I like weird. It's just weird.
That's why now I'm intentionally making music because it's affirmations, it's repetition. You're speaking it into existence, and then also like Oreez, Joreeezy, you guys both rap, so I know you know this. When you're doing a song, right, and you want to make that certain bar feel a certain way, you have to say it a certain way, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in a way, you're embodying the feeling of what you're saying. You're not just saying it, you're embodying what you're saying because you have to make the inflection. You have to say it a certain way. You have to change your voice. You know what I mean? You're embodying that whole phrase of what you're saying, and then now extrapolate that to the whole song. And then as soon as you get done that song, how many times do you listen to it? You
That's the thing too.
1,000 fucking times, bro.
Just editing the motherfucker. You on that shit on
exactly.
Just editing.
And it's playing playback, right? And that is the creation of everything. You know what I mean? It comes from the mind first, and then we act it out. We bring it into action, the 3D world.
That's why,
bro. If you're making like a super, if you're making a super toxic song, I mean, one song that's what is popping up in the top of my head is that song "Dancing with the Devil" by what's his face? I think I forget it. I forget his name.
Is it a Tech Nine song?
Let me look.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'm thinking of that crazy ass fucking song that Tech Nine made.
Immortal Technique, "Dancing with the Devil." I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, it is. I said Tech Nine. It is Immortal Technique. Shout out to you.
Goosebumps. But bro, like you said, once a song is done, you gotta listen to that shit millions of times just to get it remastered because you don't want no clicks or pops or anything. Yeah. But even before that, when you're coming up with a bar, like you're literally building that shit brick for brick. So you're saying that shit in your head. I mean, if you're writing it, you know what I mean? You have to like backtrack.
Is that not creating not creating your own spell in a way?
Dog.
I was about to get that. It is magic.
Right?
You're kind of excavating what's already there type shit. You know what I'm saying? You're like slowly digging it out.
Your own spell.
Mhm.
because that spell is an incantation that is repeated in a poem type way.
Yep.
When witches read spells and shit,
The
they
songs
say
are
it like, yeah.
they're
Straight up.
So is that
perpetuated.
not you writing your own spell? Like,
Yeah, they're
That's
perpetuated in nature. They perpetuate the frequency, the situation, the circumstance. You know, whatever
Right.
it is. Yeah.
That's
and then you're
literally
putting a beat
like
behind it and shit. Like,
what's the difference between that and like a monk that's saying a prayer like 10 times a day? You know what I'm saying? Or 100 times
and hitting those
Mental clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Mental clarity.
chimes.
Because you know they
You know
they,
what
they
I mean?
they're definitely getting a bastardized frequency out. You know, it's not like in its most raw and pure form.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
because it's been I don't know how to explain it. It's been like hacked by different forces and making it not as pure, diluted in nature, or like
Mhm.
I don't know, deformed in nature. You know what I'm saying?
And we're only talking about lyrics. Like we haven't even scratched the surface of like fucking, the frequency of the beats, you know what I mean? The 432 hertz,
Yeah.
all that shit. You know what I mean?
Cymatics.
Samples with backmask, you know what I mean? Satanic incantations, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we're still just talking about the surface level lyrics, which is, arguably the first thing people notice in a song. You know what I mean?
Shit, people don't care about that deeper shit. Some people's minds don't even go that far.
No, they don't.
So-
They don't care. As long as the beat is dope and it has a nice repetition, they'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Meek Mill. Meek Mill has a song called Dope Dealer, and it starts off saying there's 3 types of people in life. There's people that make it happen, people that watch it happen, and people that don't even know what's going on. And I think that's true across the world, but so true in music. You know what I mean? There's people that just spit, you know what I mean? Like they're talented. For some reason, they have some sort of channel where they can fucking just spit, you know what I mean? It's dope. And you know what I mean? There's people that are super intentional where they, craft every word and fucking like the beat. I don't make the beat until my lyrics are done, or I don't, you know what I mean? Like they have this whole fucking way of making this song where, leave him alone. He knows what he's doing type shit. You know what I'm saying?
OCD.
So I don't know. I feel like we haven't even talked about the fact that, Cymatics is a function in music too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Because once these songs are finished, what do? They go to the club or they go to the shows where these fucking high-end speakers are just blaring. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Surrounding you and just... So, first of all, explain what Cymatics is and see if you can pull something up so that way people who don't know what it is can understand what it is, and then we'll go deeper into it. Because you got to understand what Cymatics is.
You know what? Let me hit that X since YouTube is kind of gay. So, simple definition of cymatics. From the Greek word kaima, meaning wave, is when sound frequencies cause materials to form patterns. You can see, for example, if you put sand on a flat surface and blast a low bass note, say 50 hertz, the sand shifts into specific shapes like a star or a grid because the sound's vibrations push it around. Different frequencies make different patterns. Higher pitches create more complex designs. Lower ones make simple ones. So let me pull up some videos while we talk about it. But it just doesn't offend sand. You know what I mean? Like, well, let's just think what's aren't we ashes to ashes, dust to dust? Exactly.
Yeah, we're matter, bro. That's just pretty much what it's saying. It affects matter. Sound affects matter. So knowing that, sand is just a good example because it's easier to see. You can't, what are you going to use? Mud? But they have used water as well.
Exactly. I wanted to bring up water.
You gotta get a better video than that, cuz.
Yo, Mike.
Yeah.
There you go, a live one right there, yeah. Somewhere it's somebody doing it. So that's one good example. That's water.
I've always wanted to get
Okay.
one of those little
So-
fucking machines.
Yeah, they're dope. So that's how water is affected by vibration. See how the waves and stuff are going in all different waves. So your body's 70 to 80% water, right? So just imagine what music is doing. See if you can find one with sand.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, the thing
Whoa.
about the thing. Whoa there.
Let me work on that one.
I mean, your breathing rhythm controls the ripples that happen in your bloodstream while it's going up and down your body.
Oh, I'm
And-
so glad you brought that up.
That shit controls the bouncing of the brain in the brain fluid. So, you know, all that
There we go.
vibrations and songs, how it affects fluid, how it affects matter, how it affects fluid. It's
This is
true.
solid matter, yeah.
It's true shit, man.
hmm So when you think about this, right? Okay, we're looking at it like, oh yeah, it's making geometric patterns. What does that mean to the body? So what that means is, it means that when your body is in a certain state, a vibrational state, every emotion has a vibrational state. So depending on what vibrational state you are in, that is what emotion you're in. So if music can change your vibrational state, that means it can change your emotional state. So we have to pay attention to the type of music that we listen to. So I'm more of an 80-20 guy. 80% of the time I'm listening to classical and shit. I'm listening to chill hop and stuff without words, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
20% of the time I'll listen to my fuck shit. Like today I was listening to my fuck shit. Like just felt like it today. But 80% all classical. Because you have to be able to, and you can't 50-50 it because we live in a negative world. So that's why it's easier to get in trouble than it is to fix your fucking life, because we live in a world where the negative energy is easier to access.
It's
So if
entropic.
you try to, so if you try to 50-50 it, the negative will always take over, right?
Mhm.
So you have to 80-20 it. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea of what cymatics is and how it works with the body and the brain and water in the body and shit like that.
With that ratio, I am in agreement. You know, I totally agree with that ratio, that 80-20.
Bro.
You know, I fall asleep listening to meditative music, and I have a playlist that play, you know, like birds chirping and fucking, you know, rainforest and shit. And that's just playing from like 10 a.m. So like playing from like 10 p.m. to probably like 4 a.m, bro. That's like a good 6 hours, every day, you know, of just
Helps you think, bro. Like instead of having somebody else's words in your head all the time, and
yeah,
just helps you think about your own words. And
that's actually why I did it. That's actually why I did it, because I wanted to start making projects that were based completely off of my own experience, my own life experiences, and my own emotions, my own feelings, my own thoughts and stuff like that. So I really stopped listening to other rap music. I had people all the time telling me, "You ain't heard this song? You don't know this song?" I'm like, "Damn,
No, I don't.
I was like, "You making me feel too young. You making me feel too old." And then I must not be gay enough for the music you playing. But you know, but you for real, like I don't know what anybody be playing nowadays. I don't know what artist is who. You know what I'm saying? I just be listening to meditate.
You gotta think like how that's how we had people like Einstein and like Galileo and Pythagoras and shit.
That's the shit that they were listening
to. Exactly. All they were listening to was piano,
Beethoven
shit,
and shit.
Mhm.
Right. They weren't listening to other people sing words all the time. Like they were listening to their own mind. So, and they were exploring the world. Right now, the only thing we explore is social media and other people's lives on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take that away and you can go within, I always talk about go within yourself, get away from the stuff, delete a lot of the stuff that's on social media, clear your mind out, listen to some birds fucking chirping for a couple hours and shit, and you start to think on your own and not think what people tell you.
It's interesting because if you're constantly listening to rap, first of all, we're just using rap as a, because
No, yeah, 100%.
I mean, I feel like we grew up listening to rap as our favorite genre, and we rap. So rap is very 4-bar, 8-bar, you know what I mean, centered. So that keeps you in a 4-bar, 8-bar loop. When you start to kind of go outside of rap and you start listening to classical music or just natural sound, there's no like 8 loop, you know what I mean? It's just fucking like
and it's
a blank canvas.
And
you know
another
what I'm saying?
thing too, if you pay attention, the songs that our parents used to grow up listening to, they were like 6-minute songs, bro.
Yeah.
Now we have 3 and
like
2
1 or
minute
2
songs.
minute.
Classical music, you'll get a
attention span short.
Yeah, and we're
12 minutes. A symphony will be
living in
12
we're living in a time where you market your music for TikTok. So it's literally like, you have a 4-second highlight of that 2-minute, 1-minute song, and you just try to find opportunities to keep looping it every now and then in there.
You also have to look at it like this: the competition has grown exponentially. Like everybody is pumping shit out, bro. Everybody. Like I'm putting music out, the Cave putting music out, little cousins down the street putting music out, fucking Walmart putting out they jingles that they copyright every year. You know what I'm saying? Fucking McDonald's, fucking
AI, putting music out on a daily.
Everything.
Everyone is pumping out content like it's a fucking video game, bruh. Like it's a GTA server, nigga. My turn, your turn, everyone's turn at the same fucking time. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so hard for artists to break out into the industry nowadays, because it's just so oversaturated, bruh. And it's so fucking robotic. Everybody post your shit on the streaming platforms, fucking boost your plays, promote your fucking posts, redirect it to your website. It's just like, fuck, man, what happened to the days when we could just go out, spit some bars at the strip to some drunk motherfuckers and pass the CD out? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man,
it's not how it used to be, bro. Like, we used to go outside the club right before we perform, big homies out there smoking, we run a cypher up, you know what I mean? Now, I gotta fucking contact motherfuckers online. I gotta message them on their fucking emails and hope that they get back for a collab, for a feature, for a video feature. Stupid shit. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The technology is helping and it's not.
I think that's as planned though, because it's like the people who gatekeep, the success in the music industry are similar to the accidentally screen slip that popped up earlier on the show, which means that if you don't fit the narrative and you don't fit the agenda, then why even have you? You know what I mean? You know what I noticed about that Ari at Home stream where he goes around New York? There's so many talented unknown rappers, bro. The best rapper you probably haven't heard of, and that's unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Because if you're not spitting about what they want out, then you're not going to be able to get to that level, because they only want their propaganda out there. So why would they hire
like we mentioned about if a new genre is coming out, everyone's going to kind of try to emulate that because they think that that's the blueprint for success. And if you're the person controlling the algorithm and you're picking and choosing who, then you're almost influencing all these artists to start making music like your plant. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this guy kind of sounds like my plant. Let's boost him up a little bit. And that's how you have Nav from Drake. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I like Nav. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like sort of similar shit. Yeah, you feel me though?
Yeah.
I kind of thought Big Sean sounded like Drake when he first came out. A little bit.
You said what? Big Sean?
I felt like Big Sean sounded like Drake a little bit when he first came out. Like some
say Big Sean doesn't get the flowers that he deserves because he created a lot of the rap styles that these modern rappers are emulating and biting.
He goes hard.
He got a dope ass flow, bro. I like Big Sean.
Yo, I love that Big Sean was brought up. I was almost kind of skeptical, or not skeptical. I was kind of discouraged because we're talking about conscious rappers and false prophets, and I have a lot of rappers that are popping up in my head that are on the negative side and not a lot of rappers on the positive side. But Big Sean, I think is, on the positive side. You know what I mean? I don't think he does too much try to. I don't think he's like a messiah kind of guy where he's trying to change the world. He's trying to change himself, and in turn, that's changing his, outer world. I feel
and he don't really be in like scandals or nothing crazy or nothing.
Nigga used to be a gospel rapper.
Bro, and that guy's a lover boy, man. Every time that guy gets in a breakup, he sings some kind of heartbreak song. I don't
fuck with you.
Yeah.
That song
dope.
Beware, he's like talking about
Beware,
bad.
yeah, that's my shit. Yeah.
So say hi. No, he was a good guy, bro.
Genuine person behind the mic.
What other good rappers can we think about?
I like Common. Common's dope.
Common.
I like Nas.
Nas is dope. No, Nas is the king. Nas for sure. And y'all can't forget about Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe, yeah.
Oh, dog, that guy is so slept on, man. That guy is an occult rapper,
bro. He dropped that song. He dropped the mix. Is it as an album where it sounded like seasons was changing and shit? Is Tetsuo?
I love that album.
In Youth. Bro, I still play that shit till this fucking day. That opening song that he drops in the beginning, bro, where he's like fucking, this nigga was talking about wolf spirits and magic spells hitting the sound village and shit. Like, I fuck with that shit, bro. This nigga really going on that shit.
Yeah, Lupe
some real hard ass beats on that shit, and the production was A1, you know what I mean? And conscious rappers, Ab-Soul, man. Ab-Soul's up there. I fuck with Ab-Soul tough. He makes some hard ass music, man.
I love Ab-Soul, and he was brought up in the conversation we had that I'm referring to when this topic came up. And I think Ab-Soul is sort of like Aleister Crowley is. You know what I mean? He's almost like he's a bender. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't kind of stick to any of the poles. He kind of just goes wherever he wants, and that's real to me. You know what I mean? Like if you're aware of it and sometimes you are feeling kind of on the dark side. Sometimes you are kind of feeling on the light side. So,
yeah. I mean, he even said himself that he follows Aleister Crowley. So,
yeah, do what thou wilt, right? That's like a big part of his theology, I feel like. So, I did learn a lot from Ab-Soul, and I mean, shout out to Ab-Soul. But Lupe Fiasco, bro, you hear his song, and then you're like, damn, that shit's dope. And you read his lyrics, and you're like, damn, I didn't even know that's what it meant. And then you listen to the song knowing that the lyrics is what it is. And you're like, damn, I missed that part. And you go back and read the lyrics because, you want to make sure you got the whole song. And it's just it's a mind fuck, bro. That guy is a next level artist, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Since you put Ab-Soul in there, I feel like DMX is in the same category as Ab-Soul too,
I wouldn't call him a conscious rapper, but I would put him in his own category for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think DMX deserves his own category. I think people whose music sounds similar to him may be along the lines of Exhibit. Exhibit kind of make music like that.
Exhibit,
kind of like grungy.
I feel like Exhibit was all right. I mean, he wasn't like the best rapper, but
I think they kind of have like similar approach when it comes to the music. Kind of like not braggadocious, just hard nigga shit.
Just like kind of
hard knock living. You know what I'm saying?
Like throwing in your face type music.
Yeah.
I feel like DMX is sort of like Slim Shady level, bro. Like that fool talks to his demons on the track. You know what I'm saying? And then the next track is him saying a prayer to God, like, help me with these demons, God.
Nigga was having crack withdrawals on the mic, bro. Like,
he was
tripping hard, bro. Yeah. Not even gonna cap, bro. So, right about that. Sick and dark, twisted mind on the microphone for sure, bro. But
and that just shows that you can be as versatile as you want on these mics, bro. Like, and then without it, I feel like when music like DMX and Exhibit and stuff were coming out, they weren't doing, it wasn't like geared towards trying to make people a certain way. It was just them expressing their life. You know what I mean? The things that they did in their life at that time. Like they weren't trying to, like drill rap is geared to make people act a certain way. You understand what I mean? DMX wasn't trying to make people act a certain way. You know what I mean? He was explaining his life and Rough Riders and shit he was doing.
I do know his genre. I do know his genre. He did create a genre, the fucking crash out genre. Crash out in every fucking.
But my
song.
thing is, he wasn't doing it to create one. Maybe the people behind him saw something that were like, oh yeah, we can make something out of this shit. But I don't think he was doing it intentionally to be like, oh yeah, let's make a crash out genre. You know what I mean?
No, I think he was suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was expressing his life. He was expressing his life.
Yeah, he was legitimately suffering. I don't think it was like,
these guys now. What my point is, these guys now, like 6ix9ine, for example, like everybody knows like how fake 6ix9ine was. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't. Everybody knows he wasn't really doing all the stuff that he was saying what he was doing. You know what I mean? He got exposed a lot of times. There's a lot of videos out there about him being a fake this and that. You know what I mean? But that's a perfect example of purporting an image to a population that you don't even, you know what I mean, know anything about. You're just pushing that image onto them. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. When we're DMX, he was just living his life, explaining his life. He wasn't pushing it. 6ix9ine was pushing it. Purposely,
I agree. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To me, there's two ways to approach that. Yeah. So there's a industry plant, or there's an actor who's able to rap the lines, sell the image, and once the beat's over, go back to their ways. You know what I mean? But there are others that are like, damn, I want to be that, guy that I'm rapping like. And then, they almost feel a pressure to want to prove that I am who that, and then they, I don't know, put out hits, hang out with the wrong crowd, and then, get pushed to do stuff that, there's no turning back from.
The baby oil.
And I was talking about Drake and X, but yeah, there's that too. But no, there's okay. So one of the main artists I want to bring up for this conversation is fucking Eminem, right? Slim Shady. I think they're two different artists, and to me, like, it's hard because there's people like Tyler the Creator too that kind of are edgy rappers. They'll say something of shock value because it'll grab your attention and it'll make you focus on their flow more. You know what I mean? Or it fits the beat, and now they're building some kind of visual imagery because they're using it to be able to set up the music video that they want to roll out because it's gonna fit some sort of dark theme or whatever.
I'm in the river now, fucking crocodile. The phone just dialed.
But what's crazy about that, dog? Like you could be just cosplaying being a rapist, but when a rapist hears that shit, they're like, "Oh, yo, this shit's raw, dog."
I knew it left, bro. I did not expect you to say
that. It's crazy. I mean, it's the same thing as like murderers and gangsters and shit. You know what I mean? Like. You have to be like subconsciously programming them or validating them. I mean, yeah, or showing them the way type shit. You know what I mean?
That's a rapist.
Yo, I'm saying the majority of Tyler the Creator's crazy songs. He's talking about like standing outside the window looking in and creeping in.
Yeah.
Fucking being a rapist. It is in the fucking music videos and shit. I'm like, dog, I get that this is like, entertainment and you're kind of cosplaying, but the world's crazy, dog. Have these rappers into those.
He a cosplay rapist? Who's the cosplay rapist? Repeat this shit one more time. I'm confused, bigot.
Okay, there's a song called I don't know what it's called actually, but it's Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator, and this dude is just following her with a fucking ski mask, bro, and just pops up inside.
And he pops up inside the crib, and he's like rapping to her while she's sleep and shit. Like,
dude, that's insane,
bro. I forgot the song called.
I think it's She, right? Bro. She or her or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh man!
But
this is an actual video.
Odd Future, bro.
Yeah.
Odd Future, man. It's called Her. Okay. It's called Her. Yeah.
It's a good song though. It's a good song. Fun.
It's not as funny anymore because they actually did it. But
that's what I'm saying, bro. And going back to fucking that song I was talking about by Immortal Technique, Dancing with the Devil. That is a dark ass song. He's talking about raping his mom, dog. Yeah, he's that's psycho. Beyond what I was just mentioning.
I know.
Oh, bro, I remember I was like fucking 10. I was like 12, And we had just moved to Vegas when I was like 10. It's like 2 years later, my sister got this weird ass boyfriend from DBK, some fucking Desert Breeze Kings, a skater gang from Las Vegas. This motherfucker had Immortal, this crazy ass gangster ass skater white boy had some Immortal Technique playing. That shit was a CD with a signature on it. I was like, what is this? He's like, oh, my boy just dropped the hottest shit. Da, da, da. So he fucking was playing Immortal Technique, played that song, bro. I was like 13, 12 when I heard that shit. Psycho, bruh. Psycho.
How long is that song? Like a 5-minute song? I was in high school and my homie was like, "Hey, listen to this song." And I'm a music head, so I'm like, "Give me the headphones to put it in." And I listen to Eminem, Slim Shady, so I'm used to like hardcore rap. But dude, I was like, just hearing the fucking piano riff makes me trip out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't heard the song in a minute, bro, because it's a trippy ass song.
I never heard the song.
Times. Oh yeah. And you know what? He was
I
like,
don't recommend listening to it after the show, bro.
He's definitely like a cult. He has a cult following for that song for sure. I remember I heard that song when I was like 12, bro. I was like, damn, this nigga is fucking insane, bro. And then I just remember maybe like 10 years later, everybody talking about Immortal Technique. I'm like, what the fuck? I was in the car. Some white boy talking about my homie dropping the dopest shit ever. And fucking now this motherfucker is like viral across the whole globe for fucking his mom on a fucking song. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. This world is crazy.
Yo, I mean, like that song's a great example because he was almost pressured by the homies, you know what I mean, to act upon that fucking, you know what I mean, deed.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. The song's real descriptive.
Yeah, it's
a little bit too descriptive. Yeah.
You guys, if you're watching, you guys should check it out if you haven't listened to it, but not after this episode because it's around witching hours. You know what I'm saying?
Immortal Technique go hard. But actually, like if you just listen to his songs, though, he got like some lyrical prowess that's off the chain. That nigga got bars like for days. Mm-hmm. You know, he really be spitting, bro. So,
but dude, like Slim Shady, he talks about fucking beating his wife up and then putting her in the trunk and driving off the fucking pier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And at 3 a.m. in the song morning.
And I'll say it again. And I'll say it again to an actual wife beater. He's like, hearing that is like, dude, at least someone gets me, dog. You know, someone finally gets me, dog.
He said, they finally made a song just for me. He said, if my nigga said, Alexa, add the favorites. Fucking dead, bro.
Hitting that Shazam, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Fucking weak, man. I mean, hey, it is niche, and you're right, bro. Like, even though just like casual listeners would be like, "Oh yeah, that shit dope," that fucked your mom on the sidewalk, you know, say some random shit. You know, there's a nigga on there that's like, "Oh yeah, I fucked like 3 moms on the sidewalk today. This is my song. This is my theme song. Nigga, I'm playing this shit." You know, niggas that actually lived that life, and you just sitting here spitting that shit. Oh yeah, you're gonna make you know, like you make a cult following, bro.
And a lot of people's musical habits, when I say that, I'm talking about like when they, you know, digest music. Dog, like a lot of people's alarm clocks are their favorite songs. You know what I mean? So you wake up to that song already. You know what I mean? And like I said, that wife beater might be waking up to that wife beater song and just fucking looking for his girl. Like, damn, you know what I mean? That bitch didn't wake me up on time.
I'm fucking dead, bro. Like,
but that's programming your brain.
Song for real.
I mean, I know you guys know there's a lot of people that go to their jobs, and you know, that job might be Target, that job might be at the hospital, that job might be at an office, and they're bumping fucking, you know what I mean, drill music, like they about to shoot up the boss and shit. You know what I mean? Like, what's cooking inside you, brother?
Right. Hit a lick on they fucking coworkers after work, nigga. Finna go hit a lick on the coworker on lunchtime and then go back on clock. You know what I'm saying? Like
all that shit has to be expressed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you have that shit just internally and you're kind of like, you know what I mean? There's no form of expressing that built up energy. It'll show up as something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is the name? Carl Jung and exploring the shadow self, or you know the dark moon and shit like that. The you know the in astrology they call it Lilith. You know what I mean? It's the dark moon. You know the moon is ruled by Cancer. That's your emotional aspect. So therefore the dark moon or is your dark emotions, the emotions that you're afraid to acknowledge, the emotions that you're afraid to show others, you know what I mean? And afraid to act on because of certain dogmas, you know, social dogmas and shit.
Social structures, yeah.
Suddenly it gotta come out. It gotta come
Absolutely.
out. You know, you can't see, that's the dark nature of humans, is that we actually have that darkness pervading inside, deep inside, whether you like it or not, bro. Yeah. And it's up to you to accept it and find a healthy way to express it, bro. Otherwise, you're gonna go on a motherfucking rampage, nigga. You're like a man or woman, you know, old person or child, bro. It don't matter.
I was just explaining that to my girl last Sunday, and like I believe that people who don't understand that concept are living in a delusional ass world, bro. Because you got to think about it, and I'd say, and ask this question to yourself, right? Think about the worst thing that you've ever done, right? Now, if you had more money and more access to shit, you probably would have did worse shit than that. You probably would have did way worse shit than that. And we all have that devil inside of us. We all have that shadow self inside of us. And until you acknowledge that and give that motherfucker a job to do, like for me, kickboxing is me giving that motherfucker a job to do. Because if not, I'll be crashing out all the fucking time, bro. So that is me giving that motherfucker a job to do. And if you don't give that motherfucker a job to do, a way to express something through art, kickboxing, music, something, you're creating an egregore that eventually later on will probably bite you in the ass. You know what I mean? Spiritually.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's gonna manifest into like some kind of 4D entity and fuck your world up. You gotta become one with it and excrete the energy, excrete it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or secrete it. You know what I mean? You know, get it out of your system, bro.
Yep.
Exercise it. You know, we talked about that on the fucking, I think, episode 101. Words your spells, exercise and exercise. It's funny how that correlates, but
You know
but words your spells, yeah, man. So like we said, we were just talking about the lyric stuff, and before we get to the beats, I want to talk about backmasking. Have you guys heard about backmasking?
The fuck is that?
That's more relevant. That's more relevant for that's more relevant for, I think, like rock and roll music. But I think that they put backmasking samples into some hip hop songs, and I'll bring up a conspiracy.
I see what you now I understand
brought up later on.
So,
but
what they do is they put the word in there backwards, and it sounds the same way. It sounds different forward. So if you say something, it's actually saying something backwards. And if you play the song backwards, it comes out forward. So
you know,
I guess Revelation 9 by the Beatles, where reverse sounds spark rumors of hidden messages like Paul's dead. And Led Zeppelin Stairway to Heaven, that's the famous one, where some claims backwards playback reveals, "Here's to my sweet Satan." Some people could just be joking and that could be a parody, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that the devil doesn't know if you're joking or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think humor is in that dimension. You know what I mean? I don't think that's relevant to that dimension, I think. But that's another conversation. But this theory, or this idea called rap.mp3, it's a vague urban legend floating around. Apparently, there's a missing kid's phone. That was scary. One story claims a missing kid's phone was found with only one file, rap.mp3, containing secret codes, subliminal messages, or even audio that induces harmful behavior. It's a creepy tale with no documented case to back it up. Pure urban legend. And there's another one, subliminal sample theory. Another theory suggests that rap.mp3 is a 13-second audio clip that all rappers secretly use in their tracks to manipulate listeners. Some claim it's tied to 8 specific songs by 8 bands, each narrating murders committed by band members. So they're literally filling that shit with just dark energy. You know what I mean?
I never heard that.
And there's another one that says some post vibes with a darker take, saying rap.mp3 has a bad aura, especially when listening to old school rap like 3 6 Mafia. That's a band that's kind of on the other side.
Yeah,
users describe it as it's in the name.
They had a lot of like demonic shit. Yeah, And they even say it themselves. Crunchy Black says it himself. They all say it themselves that they sold their soul. So like, and they purposely, I forget what's the other dude's name, but he purposely said in an interview that he didn't like God and he wanted to figure out how he could make other people not like God or something to that effect. You know, don't quote me the exact words, but so he wanted to make music that offended God. He wanted to make demonic music, like so they weren't doing it like unknowingly. They were doing it on purpose.
So Juicy J was on 3-6, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You hear his music. You know what kind of music that is. I fuck with Juicy J though. That's my nigga.
Yeah.
Taylor Gang. Shout
Taylor
out to
Gang
Taylor
for
Gang.
sure. he helped
Bentley Gang.
right.
Taylor Gang.
Brother gang.
Yeah, man. Just throwing, I don't know, let's say like I've heard, okay, hey, you guys know what Gregorian chants are? When they have like people just kind of chanting like some fucking Viking shit in the background.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
This is where it gets kind of crazy because music, I feel like in its primitive form came from humans trying to, you know what I mean, get God to make it rain, right? You know what I mean? Like get God to make the sun come out because it's been cloudy. It's some sort of way to almost like tap in and communicate with unseen forces. You know what I mean? So when you're sampling actual like chants or, you know, fucking satanic mantras and shit, then it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the lyrics are. That shit's programming, especially when you have like these crazy AirPods that are like deep into your ears or like these noise canceling headphones that are just kind of echoing that shit in you. It doesn't matter what the lyrics is. It doesn't matter who it is that's performing the song or what the title is. Like the deed's being done, I think. And I don't know. I think that's kind of creepy because
Nick, you just
I was on
all of that
time.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Mushroom trip. Go ahead.
I know. I was on mushrooms one time, and I fucking went to the Universal Studios, and I got on the mummy ride. But anyways, when I was in the mummy ride, at the end of that ride, there's a pharaoh, and he's just saying this curse at you in some kind of language. And in the back of my head, I'm like, damn, what if that shit's a real curse, bro? Like I'm fucked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I be thinking that all the time, bro. Like
the
shit
producers
like
of that shit just fuck
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you play video games and they're talking in other languages and shit, and you're just like,
them niggas was really at Egypt. They was writing down the inscription and shit like, cursed for 4,000 years. Fuck it, put it on the attraction.
Yeah, Word. Put it in
Make sure the
video game,
animatron
fuck
says it word for word, verbatim type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
bro.
No, you just made me imagine though with everything that you were saying. You made me imagine this post-apocalyptic future where niggas are battle rapping to the death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole fucking words controlling the whole reality and shit like that. Just imagine you live in a world where like you rap battle to the death, nigga. The loser loses their life. How many niggas would rap?
You literally killed that shit, dog.
Right.
I'll fucking kill you tonight type shit with this rhyme, nigga. You did, nigga. That shit.
You murdered him, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like you never know where music is gonna go, bro. How it's gonna take. Because you was just talking about motherfuckers chanting with rituals and dances. Like, I honestly can imagine like our ancestors having some form of like tribal fucking musical vocal battle.
Matter of fact,
the loser
like,
fucking dies.
Not to cut you off, bro, but in anime, before they do an attack, they fucking say it. Like,
oh damn, Kamehameha.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. I've started just saying specific commands because I work in the medical field, and it's I just try to keep my mind as focused as possible when I'm providing care. And I've noticed that actually saying the commands provides a more fruitful situation for me. It's more beneficial for me. I'm more efficient. So like it's called
linguistic programming, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And what it does is when you say something enough times, you create a way for it to happen, right? And you kind of, again, what I was going back to last time, you kind of embody what you're saying if you say it enough times, right? And if you say it, especially because you got to think too, life is about numbers and repetition and consistency. So think about what you're doing. You're doing it at work at the same time, around the same area, in the same zone, right? You're creating a zone for that energy to continue to come there, right? Rather than doing it here, there. It's not scattered energy. It's more focused energy because you're at work doing it all the time, at the same time, saying the same thing, and you're repeating it over and over again. So you're creating a zone for that energy to come easier. That's why it seems like it's more fruitful, because it is, because you're working through that zone, through that energy, like you're creating a black hole there just for what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, linguistic programming, and it's also called there's another one. There's something else called man, it's from the book Think and Grow Rich.
Are you think NLP, or that's what you just said, right? Neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah, neurolinguistic programming, and it's called it's something else, but you repeat what you want to say when something bad happens. So for an example, when you start to feel nervous, you have something that you always say. Like you'll say, I feel safe, I feel good, I feel happy. That's just an example, right? But every time you feel nervous, what that does, every time you say it, it changes how your emotional state is. Because when you feel nervous, your emotional state is a certain way. But then when you say something different that changes the way you feel, you're saying it. So your emotional state is going to try to validate it in a certain way. So you're purposely changing your emotional state. That's why words are so powerful, because they can change anything. Words can kill, words can, heal.
So going back to that, so now you're saying the same words that the creator made, right? Or the spell that the artist created, right? And like you said, in order to say those words, you got to be able to you have to kind of breathe a certain way in order to like those fast rappers like Kendrick Lamar and Twista. Like when you're a rapper trying to emulate that rap, then you kind of cross the threshold of understanding breath control, right? Now breath control is coming into play. And now if you want to get into holistic shit, like breath is fucking vital. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
So now you're saying the words that the wizard or the spellcaster created, and you're breathing the same way that they're breathing, and you're trying to speak the same way and trying to incite the same emotion that person had when creating. And something that helps too is you're listening to the fucking beat, so the beat's also playing, so you're pretty much in that space. You know what I mean? You're vibrating at the same frequency as that person, right? And goes back to what I said, like if it's a fake act, if I'm cosplaying as a gangster and a real gangster hears that, I don't know if it's fake, but I fucking feel that shit, and you know what I mean? I vibe with it. And a concrete example of that, I feel like, are tuning forks. Once you're fucking tuned into the same frequency, like you'll see that shit vibrate. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter like how far, or if there's anything between the thing. You know what I mean? And here's an example I have over here. Check this out. So 512, not quite, right?
Right.
And he's trying to activate a 440 hertz tuning fork.
Have you ever seen those pillows? Those pillows and like those bracelets that light up from like different locations and stuff?
No. Let me look that up.
So like it's like a pillow. Like let's say you give your girlfriend a pillow and you have one too. You like squeeze the pillow, or like squeeze a teddy bear, or like fucking, and then it sends a signal. That's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's no different. They understand frequency.
Don't they got pocket pussies that do that?
Yeah, exactly. You have a remote. It's a remote.
Serious, bro. Like They're supposed to be niggas like that soon, right? Like,
but that's what frequency is, bro. That's why a remote works. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so understanding the frequency of the human body, you know what type of pulses and vibrations to put through it to change it. You know, and these people understand the human body. That's why like, I really do believe like once you understand the human body, you really have unlocked something true for real. Like
that's gonna mean better success rate for all the long distance relationships. You get your fucking long distance pocket pussy, you know what I mean? And then just the whole woman go to work on your shit, you know what I mean?
Promo code K4V3, 50% off.
You're gonna get the patent on that. Don't worry about that. That's gonna be Cave product soon.
Yo, you know, just to kind of slowly wrap it up, that tuning fork thing was a good lead into egregores, you know, and I feel like that is in play when it comes to music. And going back to refer this Meek Mill line, there's three types of people. There's people that make it happen, people that watch it happen, and people that don't even know. There are ghostwriters out there, you know what I mean, that probably write all your favorite rapper songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, all those words are sometimes chosen carefully, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of fucking like cosplay satanic, you know, acts in the music industry. But again, like if you're vibrating that satanic frequency, Satan doesn't know if you're joking or not. That motherfucker's gonna come and eat, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, fuck it, you rang.
That's why you see all those names at the end of the songs, bro. And one person is on the beat, but you see like 20 names on a song. Like,
it don't matter if it's a crank call, nigga. He gonna answer the phone, nigga. You know?
Yeah, because you're vibrating at his frequency. You're vibrating at that frequency.
And it's funny because most of the modern music are samples. So, you know, you're literally taking old shit that's probably worked in the past and you're just kind of redoing or remixing it. And to you, face value, it might just be like, you know, like we spoke about Drake remixing something that's already worked because I know it's going to be successful. But to someone who's actually crafting it for the egregore, it's like, hey, use this sample, bro. I'll clear it up for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It's like from a sacrifice fucking ritual you did 2 years ago and shit.
But that's why it seems like all the songs that we hear are remakes of older songs. Because again, it goes back to what we said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, and we already have these songs that have these certain incantations in it that we know work. So let's just remake the song within another beat. We don't have to remake another incantation. We don't have to do another ritual for it. It's already embedded in this song. So we can just put it out over the years. It's over 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Look at the songs that have came out, bro. Like songs that we don't even know have been sampled from like 80 years ago. So, you know what I mean? There's old songs. So got to really, really think about that shit.
Then they like 5 years later replace the face that's singing it.
Of course, yeah.
You know
it's just a new face singing it, new beat, updated.
And it feels fresh.
The sound more new for the people that are, you know, coming up and stuff.
A bunch of people getting born. A bunch of people got born 10 years ago. Now they listening to yo shit like it's the first time it's ever been heard.
Yeah, because drill rap didn't sound the same as fucking Straight Outta Compton and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's all different. So they have
even regular trap music didn't sound like it.
And right, they have to keep remaking it every different way, putting new different beats, new sounds, but the same underlying tone or same, you know, old track or sound or whatever.
Yep. And then somehow it went to that crash out crackhead music. I'm popping 3 Xannies and a perk before I fucking smoke crack. You know what I mean? Driving down the freeway with my crack out. You know, that motherfucker saying dumb shit now, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. That's why that, you know, that genre is very lucrative.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be hitting
8.5 Xans and I crash my Mustang, some stupid shit. You know what I mean?
So, something that popped in my head when you're talking about drill rap, Mel, was so primitively, you know, because I was going to say there's only a finite amount of drum patterns you can create, I think, right? Like,
well, really not patterns. It's about sounds, but yeah, there are really a few couple but you have to listen to the modernization of it, because the music that we listen to now, yeah, there are a few patterns that they use because it's the modern sound right now for those patterns. So every century or whatever, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, they have a different main sound. Like that's why, like when we were growing up, you heard and like a lot of fucking songs, because that was the main pattern of that, time that we were growing up in, so.
So as far as drums go, what I was thinking about was primitively, obviously the drums would try to get your heart rate, you know what I mean, beating the same way as the person who's trying to create the vibe or whatever. And it makes me think about cymatics again. Like the drum obviously incites a certain wave every time you hit the drum. And when it comes to drill rap, these hi-hats are going at such a fast rate. Like you can't mimic that with a human being, I don't think. You need some kind of electric tool or, these programs that make that crazy hi-hat sound. How that can't be a natural, occurrence in the body when you hear that shit over and over. You know what I mean? That's got to cause some kind of retardation.
But if you're out in the wilderness, like in the wilderness, you'd be surprised with them birds and with those fucking bugs them noises they be making, nigga. Like
that's true.
Yeah, if you travel enough, bro. Yeah. You travel enough, bro. You're gonna listen. You're gonna hear some of these animals be making some crazy ass noises, bro. Sounded like computers and shit. Computers glitching and shit. You know what I mean? It's just weird.
Crazy
shit. I think it's more of the hertz that they play it at.
Yeah,
it is about the like you said, the heart beating sound, because they have to tune you into that frequency with that 808. You know what I mean? But then once they get that 808, that 808 has that frequency in it, that 444 or whatever frequency, or the fucked up frequency or whatever. So, I think it does go hand in hand.
Yo, that shit, like the frequency, the hertz stuff, I heard this rumor that even the Nazis were involved with like manipulating the frequencies, right? Did you guys hear the same thing or what?
Just play the Kanye song already, bro. Fuck it. Just play it already. Fuck it. We know you. We know that's what you're leading into, bro.
It's definitely not, guys. Don't.
Just kidding, bro. No, you're right though. They was into all that weird shit. That's why a lot of the technologies got adopted.
Oh, here it
was because music was 432, and then they changed it to 440.
Yeah, to fuck everybody up.
So 432 hertz versus 440 hertz debate. A popular theory claims Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, pushed 440 hertz in 1939 to create discord and control minds. No primary sources confirms this, probably from the winner of the war, if you know what I'm saying. It's like a myth, but it vibes. Yeah, well, I'll say this, bro. I mean, like, if it's known that the Nazis did that to do that to their society, why did we do it? And who's control of the music industry?
Exactly.
So let me play that song.
Oh my god, bro.
Hey, like we said, man, there's a lot of us that rap in the cave, and we're working on a cave mixtape, so make sure you guys look out for that. Mel, we got Oreez. It's me, Joreeezy. You guys got anything to plug? Anything upcoming? We got the 831 event, June 21st, Saturday.
June 21st, man. Shout out to Lighthouse Cinema.
Shout
out to my boy Raw Roo. Shout out to the whole 831. Shout out to the agents of the 8. We're gonna be at Lighthouse Cinema, June 21st, the first cave event ever. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Let's run it, man.
Are we is that the first event outside the cave, or are you making a cave? So it's kind of an inside the cave type shit.
Nah, that's cave, man. I don't know what.
That's cave, man.
That's cave, man. We just popped the rock open. Now people can see what's inside. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Mel, you got any plugs?
No, not right now. We just living life and shit. Stay healthy. You know,
Hell yeah.
stay prayed up,
Yo.
stay meditated. That's all I gotta say.
How about we end with this? Let's recommend an artist that's a positive artist. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be rap. I'll start. There's this guy named Yogetsu Akasaka. He's a fucking Japanese Zen Buddhist who fucking chants on the mic and he fucking loops that shit, then he beatboxes over it. So fucking all organic. You know what I'm saying?
That's lit.
Check him out. Yogetsu Akasaka.
That's pretty lit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to plug. No, you go first. You go first, Mel. I'm gonna have to think about it.
I'm a plug. You know, I'm a plug because I've been listening to a song lately. I'm a plug Steve the Pop Star of EMC.
Oh, that's my boy.
Because I like this. I like his song "Horrendous Horny High." That's my shit. Like
Horrendous Horny High. Is that what the fuck?
Yeah, and then that No Matter Where song. That's my shit too. So go check them songs out, yo. Steve the Pop Star.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out my boy Tariq Hollow. We got a song coming out. It's called The Main Event. But you know, aside from that nigga go hard. And my boy Young LA over in London. That nigga go hard too. Yeah, we gotta
Mandem.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to London. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah, man. Check us out at cave.com, K4V3.com. We got blogs over there, all our shit. And that's all I gotta say, man. Peace out.
Yeah, man.
Gang. I got your bitch in the cave.